There should have never been a special counsel, in my opinion. It's an illegal investigation, totally. A lot of people agree with me. A lot of people on your show and on other shows agree. There was no collusion. There was never any collusion. It shouldn't have ever happened. I have made everything available. You know why? Because I have nothing to do with Russia.
That's President Trump during an interview with Laura Ingraham, slamming the Russia probe. But he says he will probably respond in writing to some questions from special counsel Mueller as the Russia investigation nears a critical point with key sentencing dates on the horizon. Weighing in now, former Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz, former House Oversight Committee chair and a Fox News contributor. Is that a good idea for him to answer some questions, at least in a written form?
Yeah, I think the president does things differently than most every other person out there. Most legal counsel would say don't do it. But certainly written questions are fair game. And I think the president has from day one said, I'm open, I'm transparent, and I haven't done anything. So I might as well answer those questions.
So this is obviously entering a critical point here as we near midterm elections. The response from the president, how does this all conclude? How do we eventually see this all come to an end? Well, it hasn't been, on the front burner for quite some time because of all the news. Jason, where does this all go next?
Well, I think even the Democrats are getting tired of the Russia probe. In the last closing 8 weeks of the election, you don't hear him talking about Russia because there is no evidence. They don't have anything. And other than a flailing Representative Adam Schiff, you don't hear anything about this. There have been no prosecutions or allegations against anybody to prosecute anybody regarding Russia that's close proximity to the president. And I think it's time for Mueller to wrap it up, show what he found. I do think Director Mueller has fallen short because he has not pursued Uranium One. He did not pursue the FISA abuse and the Democratic money. That's the only evidence that we have of things going on with Russia is Democratic money going to pay people overseas to try to spy ultimately on Donald Trump.
Which should spur the question, what happens if the House flips and Democrats regain control of the House? They've promised a congressional investigation.
Well, Congress has a legitimate right to provide oversight. The country is going to decide 7 days from now. Do they want Adam Schiff to have a gavel? Do they want Maxine Waters to head up financial services? Do they want Elijah Cummings to head up the oversight committee? If they do, they'll have subpoena power, they'll have the gavel, and they'll have the ability to go after the Trump administration.
So this is according to two sources close to Trump's legal team that this probe is, quote, winding down. We have not heard specifically from the Mueller team commenting on their timeline here. But when do you see all of this winding down, Jason?
Well, obviously, next Tuesday is a inflection point because then once the election's done, I think Mueller very soon after that has a duty and an obligation to go before the American people and wrap this thing up. I think you're going to see some movement on Attorney General Sessions and Rod Rosenstein from either from the White House or from them personally. But all of that's got to happen, and I think that happens in November, and hopefully it'll be a good Thanksgiving by then.
Do you think that there will ever be a sit-down interview with the special counsel with the president?
It doesn't seem to gravitate to that point because there doesn't seem to be any evidence of any crime. And so if you haven't gotten any evidence after nearly 2 years of a probe, then why do you need to sit down with the president? There is no need to do that. Do they submit some written questions and the president answers those? Hey, that sounds great. But there is no evidence at this point.
All right, we will see where all of this goes. According to Catherine Herridge's reporting on this, there's outstanding issues to be resolved before these written answers would be submitted. There's also additional reporting on confirmation of that happening via Bloomberg. So a lot changing on that front. We'll likely learn more soon. Jason Chaffetz, the former congressman, thank you very much.